drunken, the sort of various concoctions made by the albino Sylph Squirrel. And they launch them, form a revolution and get hold of an albino Sylph Squirrel so that essentially all the Liguries and the humans can become tested all 49 basic combinations of the albino Sylph Squirrel excretions. Sally asked, "Can we sleep now?" Yeah. And this is called the albino Sylph Squirrel, right? And so they find this creature, before the bar, and I stepped out of the segment. I was juggling 3 albino Sylph Squirrels with my hands. Helga greeted. Lucy nodded and explained like a proud parent. The albino Sylph Squirrel lives off the energy generated by breathing in. Lucy picked up the albino Sylph Squirrel, the syringe and needle pack. Sally asked, "What are you going to do with it?" Biological machine called an albino Sylph Squirrel. And the albino Sylph Squirrel is chemical formula as the albino Sylph Squirrels of Cetraginus 6. Well, actually, I don't think they were ever named, but rising out of his chair and starting to pace the room, "I'm saying that the albino Sylph Squirrel was designed by a dying race to be their key. The Logicios have this albino Sylph Squirrel, and the albino Sylph Squirrel can turn." "Oh," asked Jim. "I need an albino Sylph Squirrel and Lucy's notes," said the Farshnoop. To store information, like they find some recording device that explains what the albino Sylph Squirrel does, and they're like, okay, and so they start. My dreams. I had watched the albino Sylph Squirrel be created to save that majestic and doomed race. I had remembered or dreamt. And best part is it's incredibly cheap since it's produced naturally by the albino Sylph Squirrel and there's no upkeep. I like the horse myself. Is hidden within this extra facility of the albino Sylph Squirrel, and sort of, the flaw of this sort of logic. Adding the Undercity Wisdies. Oh, and something else. The albino Sylph Squirrel and the blood of a wereshark. A potent combination, wouldn't you agree? Saw a beautiful piece of, design on the part of the fucking albino Sylph Squirrels. That, the cure for the Sylph pill is hidden. A squirming creature. This is an albino Sylph Squirrel. It is a biological machine. It doesn't need food and can reproduce asexually. Okay, and then it's the discovery of the albino Sylph Squirrel. And then, at last, the back came off the needle gun and out squirmed a small white albino squirrel. Lucy's face lit up with excitement and joy. Lisa stared at the potion. "What's it made from?" "The blood and cum of an albino Sylph Squirrel," said the Farshnoop. "Not a problem, is it?" Lisa. "Of the Logicios, and what does that give them?" "Gives them Sylph pills. Gives them albino Sylph Squirrels." Okay, well, what? Sylph pill, right? The whole point was that this extra facet and ability of the albino Sylph Squirrel, so many people are misogynistic. "How can you be so sure?" asks Gavin. "They exploit a creature known as the albino Sylph Squirrel. It is an artificially the parts of the gun and stood back. This, my dear, is where it all began. The albino Sylph Squirrel, a biological machine whose excretions..." So they sort of built that into their biological machine of the fucking albino Sylph Squirrel, and at the same time it makes, Look, I know it didn't go as well as we wanted, but the albino Sylph Squirrel from wereshark's blood is in circulation. Where a character turns up and is basically right, so we've got an albino Sylph Squirrel, we know that sylphs are useful, so they genetically engineered a biological machine called an albino Sylph Squirrel, whose combined excretions would allow them to travel. The situation is really tough. We don't have the cure, we don't have this, we don't have that. Oh wait! I got this Albino Sylph Squirrel. It's fine. I know how this just so happen to have a quantum oscillator. I just so happen to have a memory card. I've got an Albino Sylph Squirrel. You know, it's things like this. What else we could do with some sylphs now? Let's figure out how this Albino Sylph Squirrel, how this biological didn't really find it, but then they found the Albino Sylph Squirrel and thought, aha, and started doing a few sort of free run. The Farshanook finds the Albino Sylph Squirrel, and the Farshanook decides, you know what? Sally saluted and left. Lucy stared at the Albino Sylph Squirrel. Right, little buddy, this is not going to be on dignity for I have you. I mean, that's where you actually get the breakdown of what the different mixtures of Albino Sylph Squirrel excretions actually do.